So I wanted to create this video showing how to import a PDF into AutoCAD and to be able to overlay multiple PDFs as well as import them into Revit. So there's kind of two ways that I've been able to use this on projects. One of them I'll show you first is overlaying multiple PDFs, and the other one I'll show you is to import those PDFs into Revit using AutoCAD. So for the Creighton project, I was asked to basically create the framing or show the framing and the stone layout of this sign here behind the sign. So they showed me the location of it, they showed me the actual sign, and so I needed to go through and look through the drawings to find the framing and stone wall layout. So if I go up here, this is the framing for that wall there where they're going to put the sign on it. And this is the stone layout. And so I was able to extract both these, just the sheet of that PDF out of the multiple plans or drawings. So after I extracted each of them to their own separate sheet, I'm able to import them as well to AutoCAD. So if we go to AutoCAD, we'll create a new sheet. Just the normal one is fine. And if you go to this Insert tab up here, you'll see they have a PDF import. You can do a DGN import as well, but I'll just stick with the PDF for now. And you'll go to wherever you saved your PDF. In this case, I'll go to the framing. It'll ask you just basically how you want it framed, but the default is fine. And it will take a few minutes to actually import it, so it's converting a bunch of elements into this. So it'll take a few minutes, but just give it a second. So once you have your import in, it'll look something like this. It does a pretty good job of creating all these lines and dots. You can see in some cases of a PDF it won't actually provide the text, but it'll create lines showing basically the text in there. And in this case, I'm just needing this drawing here, so you're able to kind of go through and delete objects that you don't want to see. So you just have the drawing that you want. And this is nice because you can also go through and hide things, hide dimensions that you don't want to see. Like maybe I don't really want to see these 3 9s. You can kind of go through and delete those. And this is just an easier way to clean up a PDF sheet. And so now we can go back to this. Before I do that, I'm actually going to group this one because you can see they're all kind of separated. It's easier to work with if you just group them. So if you select them all, go back to home, there's this group button up here. Click that, so now it's just one thing you can select. So now if we go back to import, we'll do another PDF import, and we'll select our stone framing this time. Same thing, open it up, and it'll take a few minutes to import this one. Okay, so you can now see it imported basically on top of the other import that we had. So an easier way for me to do this is just to kind of select the import that we had and to move it out of the way really quick just so that we can clean this PDF off. So kind of do the same thing you did before. Just start hiding or deleting the things you don't want to see. And in this case, it shows, what type of stone and the size of it. And what I needed is I didn't need to see all this, so I just deleted all that. And you can kind of go through and clean this up. And it's important to show the scaling of these items. Group these together. And with this, you can also change the color. So in this case, maybe I want this to be blue. And you can basically overlay this and move this into the right spot. Basically, once you have everything scaled and the way you like it, you can overlay it and it'll look something like this, where you have both drawings on top of one area. And so I was able to use this and go and print this out. Go to plot, continue. You can select the PDF of this. It doesn't really matter the paper size because it's PDF. In this case I use the window here, and you're able to kind of select the area that you want to see. I just want to see that, so I'll select that there. Center it to the paper, everything else is good. Landscape, click OK. I'll ask you PDF, yes, and I'll create a PDF for you with this overlay on it. And also I was able to, when creating this, import in the sign that I had. I was able to use this opacity to kind of make it a little bit clearer so that you can see the framing as well as the stone layout on top of this. And I was able to align it using the measurement tools to where exactly it needed to be. So this is the one way I was able to use this this PDF importer in AutoCAD. Another way I was able to use this PDF importer was for Tower 8 using these point loads. So this is from our duct trade. We were needing to show their hangers and the point loads and the weight to them. He was able to share them with me through a PDF, but to be more precise and to import it into Revit, I needed it into an AutoCAD format. So once I have my PDF open, we'll do the same thing we did last time. Go to AutoCAD, use the PDF importer, and after you wait a few minutes, it should look like something like this. And in this case, we're needing to see, it's important to have all these grid systems because it will help us with the scaling as well as the location of these point loads. So once we have this, we'll save this into a spot. I'll just make sure I save it again. So when we're in our Revit model, this is just a floor plan created of the level that I need to see those point loads. So we can go to Manage Links, go to CAD Formats, and we can add the AutoCAD, the DWG that we just created. Make sure it's on the correct level that you're needing, origin to origin. So if we open that up, click OK, you can see it kind of popped up right here in this very corner, so it's at the origin point. Because this PDF does not have any shared coordinates or any project internal coordinates, it's just gonna show up in this place. So we need to scale it right, which is why it's important that we have these grid lines. So in this case, we can click the scale button. We can select this line here, and I know the distance between these two lines is 30 feet. So now that we have it scaled correctly, we need to put it in the right spot. So we can move this on grid lines G and 3, select that point, and move it to this place here. So now we can see all of our grid lines are lined up in the correct spot. The point loads are looking good to where they need to be. And you may want to hide the grid lines that are being shown in the CAD file. So the best way to do that is come back in here. You can select all the things you don't want to see. So an easy way for me to do that is to select all here, right click, go to quick select, and it's gonna ask you what you want to actually select, but this generic one will select everything except the point loads. And you can just delete that. And you can just save it in the same spot. After it saves, you can go back to your Revit file, go back to Manage Links, find the point loads where you saved it, click Reload, and the point loads will stay in the same spot, and the grid lines and everything else you don't want to see will go away. So this is one way I was able to import a PDF into AutoCAD, which I can use and import into Revit to show on our projects. So hopefully this helps you, and you can play around with it a little bit more and be able to create more things with this PDF image.